All right, hi guys. So, welcome back to the Diary of a True Alchemist. What we're going to be doing today is reading one of my old diary entries and giving myself advice, but like it'd be like future me giving past me advice. So, yeah. And I figured that this would be like good for people because also like we're all on different journeys, and what you may be experiencing now, I may have experienced it, and I've been through it, so maybe I can like help out. But yeah, so this is just to kind of like play around with that. Yeah, I'm trying something new. I'm gonna see how this go because it does require me being vulnerable, because some of these past entries I was just taking like a glimpse through the book and I was like, damn, I made it through the dark. I made it through the darkness. I made it through. But yes, it says, it's the next morning and I didn't sleep well. I realize my emotions always feel intense. I feel restless when I don't talk about my issues. It's going to be hard, but I know that I have to because I want to grow from my past and be a better person. It's just hard to talk about the way that I feel. My feelings were always invalidated, and even when I tried to talk to my mom about it, she would say, if you want to internalize it, that's on you. Sometimes I wish I wasn't born because then I wouldn't have all this healing to do. I want to stand up to my mom and tell her how much pain she caused me, but the first time I tried, it didn't go well. She said I was a difficult child and it wasn't easy raising me. Okay, so first things first that I would tell my past self is we do make it to a place where we can communicate our feelings effectively, all of our emotions, anything, any thoughts, anything that we want to share. We've made it to that place, and you are safe. And it is okay if other people get upset based off of what you share, but we realize that that's on them. That's not a reflection of us. And a lot of the things that we took personally, our mother was also going through her own thing, and that was really her own way of processing it and processing her own trauma, but it had no reflection of you being born or you being a mistake or you being the black sheep of the family. None of those things actually had to do with you. And I'm not invalidating your feelings. I know that you felt unseen, not valued, unlovable, but we make it to a place where we validate our own self and we love ourselves. So we don't require a love outside of us to validate us, because that is not stable anyways. And no matter how much you crave love from someone, they will not give it to you in the way that you want to. But if you give yourself the love that you always wanted, then it cannot be taken from you. Okay, so also I want to say that your mom eventually makes it to a place where she starts to choose her own healing, and it is a beautiful blessing. And I know you can't see it now because you've moved far away and you've decided to just kind of leave everything in the past, leave everybody in the dust. But it comes a moment where everything that you wished for as a child, you receive that. Your mother is on that journey. She's choosing to heal every day, and you guys have a much better relationship than you did when you were a kid. And that is a blessing that you prayed for when you were younger. So you do eventually experience that in your 20s, and it's amazing because she's like your best friend, and like you do eventually forgive her, and it's a beautiful process. So that is something that I wanted to share to you. So you are definitely right about the part where you say you feel restless when you don't talk about your emotions. So one thing that we've learned on this journey is that we're very highly sensitive people, and as highly sensitive people, we have to talk about our emotions, because even though other people think you're too emotional, it does fuck other people. It doesn't matter what they think about that, because you are the one who has to sleep with yourself at the end of the day, live with yourself at the end of the day. So if you cannot communicate your feelings to certain people and they do not understand it, or they think you're highly too sensitive, then those aren't your people. Even if somebody thinks you're too sensitive, but like you're too much for them, if they think that you're too much for them, then that's when it's just like, that's not your person. Because we found people who we can communicate our emotions effectively to, and they understand it, they comprehend it. So before, You may have felt crazy, but you were not crazy. It was the people that you chose to be around. They were not your people. And, like, as much as I'm spewing this to you, we also had to learn this lesson again recently by choosing friends that just because they're convenient and they're there, that is not the way. Like, you will have to heal from so much heartbreak when you continue to choose people who are not right for you. So you can decide that this is your last heartbreak because you're not going to go through this anymore, or you can continue down the same path and continue to choose people who are not in alignment with you and continue to get your heart broken. But I want to let you know we stopped doing that. We no longer on that type of frequency because it's ghetto. It's ghetto, okay? Like, no, my heart is supposed to feel safe with me, and it does. Our emotions does feel safe with us. We are not afraid of it anymore. We no longer run from feeling emotions. We no longer think being emotional is weak. And honestly, we have a lot to thank for this crystal that I'm wearing today, guys. This crystal, malachite crystal. Oh my God, guys! When I bought this crystal, your girl cried for hours and hours and hours and hours. And I was like, why the fuck am I crying? Because honestly, I would schedule my cries because I was like, crying is for, it's like weakness. And at the time, like when I moved out, I had like 3 jobs. So who had time for crying? You really don't have no time for crying when you're literally out in the dust, like struggling and trying to make ends meet, whatever you're trying to do with your life. You just don't really have time for that. And I never really saw it as like strength. But now we completely shift our mindset. We cry, okay? We are not afraid to cry. And the people that we are vulnerable with, they do not shame us for it. We were just choosing the wrong people. Those people who shame you for crying and having emotions, or thinking that, oh, you caught feelings, oh, you were weak at, those people are hurting too, darling. It has nothing to do with you. Before, we used to take all that shit personally. We do not do that anymore. We see that other people's projections are just other people's projections. It ain't got shit to do with us. And honestly, whenever they project it, they're just giving you like a deep dive into their soul, how they feel about themselves. And we no longer tit for tat. We no longer go back and forth with like people. That's ghetto. We've chosen peace. Like, remember how many arguments we tried to win, and it just led to exhaustion, tiredness, and saying all types of reckless ass shit. But we've channeled that into our writing now, and we've channeled that into our shadow work. We're loving on ourselves, and our emotions are stable. We've learned to master our emotions, and I never thought we'd be here, but we learn to master our emotions. And if you guys do want to learn how to master your emotions, I do have a video on that, and I will link it down below or somewhere up here. I don't really know. It'll be somewhere in the video, but yes. So that is like the advice I would give myself from the past. And honestly, guys, something I do want to add is a lot of the times we don't really see the bright side of things while we're in the storm, but the light will always come. If I had given up back then when I thought that like I just didn't want to be born, I just didn't want to be alive, and like my home situation would never change, nothing would change. But like if I gave up then I would not be experiencing the life that I have now. I would not have the connection with my mom that I always craved as a kid. And honestly, guys, that came from forgiving and letting go, because people make mistakes, and people also, they're acting out of their own limited beliefs, their own trauma. So if people are willing to change, we should, well, I don't say we should, but like if you want a relationship with that person, you have to forgive them. But if you don't, leave it, let it be, let it fly. But like if you do want a relationship with that person, you can't keep reminding them of the things that they did. You have to like really truly let go and forgive, and allow that person space to really transform into who they want to become. But that's only if you want to forgive that person. If you don't, let it fly. If you do, this is just advice. But yes, those are my messages. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this with someone that might need it. But I'm really liking this diary entry thing. It's pretty cool. But all right, bye.